anyway, the battle's won. They've taken the Commonwealth back. All the walkers are miraculously dead.
Shock.
And it's time for a dinner party.
No.
No. Maggie and Negan have their scene first. Let me just check my notes.
Because I was already crying, and then it happens.
So Maggie and Negan have a scene, and bearing in mind before this, I genuinely thought that Dead City would work.
Yep.
After they had their moment with the snipers, when she grabbed the sniper and she walked, and then looked back and went, "You coming or what?" I was like, "That's it. That's how you lead in."
Cool. And then they had this conversation.
And this conversation, probably one of the best moments of the episode.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite conversations.
Probably one of the best scenes ever in the show. It was amazing. But it leaves us in a really weird place because it gives... Basically, Maggie was saying that she wanted to forgive him, but she never would be able to. But she accepts his apology and is able to move on.
He was like, "I'm sorry that I killed Claire, and I'm sorry that after I did it, I was taunting you about it. Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, cool. He's apologised properly. She's taken his apology, but can't forgive him, and has explained why." And I'm like, "Yeah, fairs.
Yeah, fairs.
Cool."
It was a really good scene, and it was really powerful as well. Like Lauren Cohen, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, very powerful actors, and when you put them together in a scene, magic.
Like, it was
amazing. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And then the dinner party happened, and if you remember back when Negan was first introduced, he had this very smarmy comment.
Season 7, and he was like, "Bet you are going to grow old together. Sit around the table at Sunday dinner."
And then we see a shot of what was the cast back then, sitting around a table outside eating dinner, and it's a beautiful moment, but then it's all a dream. And we finally got that moment here.
And they finally
with very few of the characters that were featured in that episode. But there was a lot of laughing, there was a lot of joy. Yumiko and Magna got back together, which I thought was really beautiful. What? Are you going to start crying? It's fine. We can do this, we can get through it.
And then Rosita's just sat by herself watching everyone have a good time because she wants to remember it. And then Gabriel comes over and he's like,
that's when she tells him.
She has to tell him, and then he's like holding her hands and she's like crying, but she's keeping a smile on her face. And Judith
this entire time, Judith is watching and she looks over and she's smiling, and then she sees how sad those two are, and then I think she realises. And then that scene ends. There's a really nice moment with Daryl and Negan where he looks out the window, sees Daryl nods at him, Negan nods back, and then Negan walks off. And that's also a callback to, or it's not a callback, but it's a reference to the comics where Negan was not in the Commonwealth plot at all. He left after the Whisperer War, and he doesn't come back. So it was a nice nod to just him going off on his own to be with Annie and his family. And then this was when Rosita was helped into bed by, was it Maggie and Carol?
Yeah.
I think helped her in. And Maggie and Carol are obviously the two that have been with her the longest, aside from Michonne. Michonne's not in the show anymore. And they helped her into bed, which was where she spent her final moments with her baby. And then Gabriel was with her, read her the last rites, and then said something along the lines of, we'll see you again someday. And at this point, I'd already been crying. I'm about to cry again now. Ooh. And
Daryl was still at the door and watching.
Daryl was still at the door the entire time watching, and then Eugene came in when Gabriel and Coco left. And Eugene sat down, and Eugene was the last person.
And she was like, "I'm glad it's you," at the end. And I was like,
fuck, I didn't want to cry. Eugene and Rosita have a really cute conversation. Bearing in mind the entire time, Rosita is smiling. Oh shit! Wow. And it's fine. I'll do the talking. And then Eugene says something on the lines of, "I wouldn't be the man I am today without you." And she goes, like, "I'm glad it was you in the end," or something like that.
And then she died.
It's a really beautiful moment because they'd already said "I love you" earlier in the episode, and I saw something online. I keep crying, shit. And I saw something on, I think it was Twitter, that was like the amount of times people said "I love you" in this episode was beautiful because we haven't heard it at all during the show. Like, we've heard it on the odd occasion, maybe with Maggie and Glenn, but we haven't heard it with platonic friends, which is really beautiful. And Rosita's death, she got Andrea's death from the comics, and they did it justice, because Andrea's death in the comics sucks. Like, it's horrible. In the comics, Andrea's death, because she survives 167 issues. She survives all the way to, I think, halfway through the Whisperer War, or beyond that, I can't remember exactly. And then she gets bitten and dies, and there's an entire issue devoted to her saying goodbye to characters, and it sucks. And that's what this felt like, because Rosita's close people are Gabriel and Eugene, and she had a moment with both of them, and I think that made it for me. And then we skip forward a year into the future, and I was surprised they did a time jump because I wasn't expecting it. And we see the state of the Commonwealth, and it's completely back to normal. It's under the leadership of Ezekiel and Mercer, and we finally get Governor Ezekiel, which I was so happy about. Loads of people are at the Commonwealth.
It doesn't even, right, you're just skipping bits, right?
I am skipping bits because I'm just setting the groundwork, because then I'm going to come back to the moment I know you're about to talk about. The lead into the 1 year later was Eugene going to a fountain where the plaques of the people who are lost during the episode that we've just watched, so Rosita, Luke, and Jules. There was another name as well, but I don't remember who that was. And he paid his respects, and then he comes back to Max, and he picks up the baby and says, "Hi, Rosie."
And then I was just crying again.
I was crying again. Oh, this fucking show, honestly. And then we obviously see the Commonwealth bit, and that's really, really cute.
No.
And then we see Aaron and that lot at Alexandria.
No, you're missing bits. At Commonwealth.
Oh yeah, Negan gave back the compass.
Negan gave back the compass
Yeah.
to Judith and was like, "Thank you."
I
for
forgot he
letting
gave
me
her a compass. I'm gonna be.
fight."
Oh,
No,
she gave him a
it to
compass.
at Alexandria.
Yeah,
when
I
he
forgot
first
that.
escapes.
And
then
Carol's
Connie
hair is
and-
short,
Yeah, I noticed that.
which was weird.
Connie and Daryl had a little chat, and then he's like, "You look happy," and she's like, "I am." And she was like, "Are you?" And she's
Oh, it's fine. Right, we can get through this. We've not got much left. We've not got much left.
and then it goes to
Alexandria.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And
there's
it showed all the names
some cute conversations
of
there.
people.
We saw the names on the wall. Of like the people who've passed. We saw Glenn's name. We saw Diana's name. We saw
And then
other people's names.
Elijah and Lydia look fine.
Yep.
Aaron's
happy,
and
which is
alive,
the
that's
best
great.
thing. And like I said, Carol's hair is short again.
Yeah,
And
why
then-
is it short?
And then Carol and Daryl have a goodbye.
And then she calls
That
him-
would hold on. You got to let me lead it up, because you're ruining the emotional crux of the scene. They're sitting there, and he's going off on a mission to find Rick and Michonne and bring them back, and it's interesting because his spin-off was meant to be him and Carol. It was meant to be the Daryl and Carol spin-off, but then Carol, Millicent Bride backed out of it because she couldn't commit to filming in France. And so they wrote this scene, and I think this might be one of my favourite scenes in the entire episode. And it was purely because they had an emotional moment. In season 10, at the start, Daryl called her his best friend and she took the piss out of him. And in this episode, she cried and said, "You're my best friend." And once again, it was a full circle moment. It was emotional, and I just spent the last 30 minutes of the episode crying my eyes out because it was so emotional. And that moment especially was heartbreaking.
And then everyone says goodbye. Well, actually, I've pulled myself together now so I can talk.
Okay, good.
When they're at Alexandria, Lydia and... what's her name? Elijah?
Yeah.
Him. They're together. Ezekiel has Coco.
Gabriel has Coco. And then Judith and Gracie hug because Gracie's still alive. Oh, somehow.
And then Jerry and Nabila are there with her children. It's really cute, and everyone's like, "Oh, look, happy endings, blah blah blah." I will say that we don't see Negan in this flash forward.
Yeah.
We only see the fact that he gave the thing back.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Which I think is fine. I don't need to see him in the future.
No.
I'm going to be honest. Because we're going to see him again anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like we're never going to see him again. We are seeing him in a spin-off. I would have been pissed off if I didn't see characters like Gabriel and Aaron, who we know aren't coming back.
I liked that Ezekiel and... what's his name? The guy?
Mercer. Yeah.
Mercer, I'm glad they are in charge.
Yeah.
Because Ezekiel's
great in charge, and Mercer's got a good head on him.
Also, why did Ezekiel take his... Did you notice that he took his peacock feather out his hair for the flash forward?
No.
No, I did. He did.
Okay. And then the last bit of the episode is Daryl saying goodbye to Judith, which wasn't as emotional as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But and then he just drove off on his motorcycle, and that should have been the end of the episode.
Because I needed to have a minute.
Because I needed to have a cry.
Where I cried.
Without anything. And I think that's where the credits should have been. Because what came afterwards should have been the post-credits.
Yeah.
I think. Because Daryl leading away on his motorcycle was a brilliant ending. Go on.
Did you notice that when Daryl is driving, he goes through some walkers, and one of them is
Greg Nicotero. Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, that was quite good. Greg Nicotero is the special effects guy.
Yeah.
On Walking Dead, and he's amazing.
And he directs quite a lot.
He's amazing. So finally, it's time to talk about the big moment of the episode, the bit that everyone's talking about.
The match light lit, like he does in the first episode of Walking Dead.
And Rick's face appears. And we hear two monologues happening at the same time.
Yeah.
One of them is Rick, one of them is Michonne. Rick is writing diary entries to Michonne.
Yep.
Michonne is writing letters to her daughter. Her daughter and her children, basically.
Yeah. And
these two things are going on at once. We then see Rick on a beach. He has one of the spears from a culling factory or facility in the CRM or something like that. I've been reading up on it. I haven't actually watched World Beyond yet, but I've heard that weapon is featured there.
Yeah.
And then he is tracked down by a helicopter, and throws his stuff in the boat, which is what we find in Michonne's last episode. Michonne finds the boat. Although it doesn't make sense how it gets down below deck, but we'll move. I'm assuming Virgil just puts it there. Oh, I was going to say I'm assuming that the spin-off will explain it all. Yeah. But... So then he obviously gets captured by the 3 circles. The 3 circles CRM helicopter, and at the same time, Michonne is riding into what seems to be
the place that she joined.
Yeah, she seems to be riding somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
She was in a cool
I
outfit.
am going to say, yeah, this is what I was going to talk
I thought
about.
she turned up in a Wakanda
That's
Forever
what
outfit.
I was going to say. You literally said that. I was like, why?
I was like, why is she in a Wakanda Forever? Did she just pop over on a lunch break to film
Yeah,
this? And then I was like, oh, it's not actually her outfit.
Anyway.
Because I just seen Wakanda Forever like the week before,
yeah.
and so my brain was still like, oh, it's a Chloe. And so the if you notice, the first and last Walker kill of the entire show is Rick.
Yeah.
He kills the girl at the start, and he kills that Walker right at the end. And I think that, again, full circle. I love it.
And we haven't spoken about it, but when Rick is writing the diaries and Michonne is writing the letters, they like flash everyone who's like main character in The Walking Dead.
That was emotional. That was heartbreaking. When we saw a still of every character who's died in The Walking Dead, not every character, every main character, every good main character that's died, like none of the villains, but just the main characters that have died.
That's so good.
I was in tears.
Yeah.
I couldn't control myself.
And then Daryl. No, right. I've missed a bit from like the very beginning.
Oh, Jesus.
This is what I thought of at the beginning,
Yeah.
but I forgot to say it. Michonne. Judith says, my mum told me something my dad used to say. That is, we don't die, we're the ones who lived. And then Rick says it, Michonne says it, and then it cuts to Judith
everybody
saying it to
says
RJ.
it. No, everyone says it. Did you know they all came back and recorded lines for that?
Really? That's so
They did.
cute.
They got Morgan. They got Morgan
Oh my God,
from
Morgan.
Fear to do it. They got. I think Andrea did the line. I don't know. I don't know who exactly said the lines, but loads of them said it. And
probably,
I'll admit,
Emily McKee.
it was a little bit of a cringy moment.
I know.
When they all just in a row went, we are the ones who live. We are the ones who live. And I was like, okay, this is cool.
No,
this is cool. And then it cut to black, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it.
And then it
cut back to Judith.
Judith saying
and
it.
she had the last line, and I thought that was perfect. And she had the last line, which was, she said something first, and then she said, we are the ones who live. And I was like, that's perfect. Yeah. And then it ended, and I was like, I feel content that this is a good ending for the show.
Okay.
Were you not happy with the ending? What? Why?
Because it was an hour-long episode. It was the finale of a show.
Yeah.
And Daryl left.
Yeah.
Rick and Michonne haven't found each other yet.
Yeah.
My favourite character died.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, I just thought that when it cut back to Judith and RJ, it would be like them, like Michonne and Rick coming towards them, because I thought that
I don't think that's what they're doing though.
No,
that's the reason. That's what they're doing in the spin-off, because they don't want to ruin the spin-off before they've done it.
This is my point. You shouldn't end your main TV show that has made this world famous by saying, oh, but that'll be sorted in the spin-off.
I disagree.
No, I hate it.
I don't think there was anything that was like, this will be cleared up in the spin-off, because it ended the story, and then it was like, Daryl's gone off. Rick and Michonne have left ages ago. We knew they were getting a spin-off anyway.
No, I know.
So there's no oh, we're going to answer this on the spin-off. Of course they are. That's the whole point of the spin-off. Where have they been? That's the whole point of the spin-off.
Thought that
with Daryl, it's a continuation of his story. With Negan and Maggie, it's going to be a continuation of their story.
I missed a bit.
What have you missed?
Sorry, I missed when Judith... Did I say when Judith says to Daryl, you deserve a happy ending?
Oh, no, you haven't. Judith
says to Daryl before he leaves, are you okay because you deserve a happy ending?
And it
then
was
he
a really
still
cute
leaves.
moment. Yeah. But I'm excited for the spin-offs. I think they're going to be good.
I don't want to watch them.
Yes, you will.
I don't want to watch the Maggie and Negan one.
You will watch it.
Because I don't like Maggie. Still,
how can you say you don't like Maggie?
I just don't.
What, from that one decision when she killed off that irrelevant teenager?
No, I just don't know what it is about her. But she just winds me up so much.
It's actually so infuriating. Your favourite character is Aaron.
My favourite character's dead.
Yeah, fair. At least mine survived. Both of mine. Well, that's because all of my other favourite characters are dead.
It's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all from us. This is probably going to be split into 2 parts.
Yeah.
So I'll try and find a moment in the middle to split it into 2. But thank you guys very, very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. We will be back most Wednesdays to do some Walking Dead related content.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of tiered stuff to come up. We're going to be doing some Q&As, talking about Walking Dead. So yeah, plenty more Walking Dead content. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys next week. See you later. Bye.